Somebody needs to stop me and take away my card. Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is Elizabeth's Books, and today we have my July book haul. So we are going to get right into it because I once again just bought too many books, and I literally think I'm going to put myself on a book buying ban in August because I have a problem. Okay? So let's just get right into it, and we'll start with my first little pile here. I got Out on a Limb by Hannah Bonham Young. This is the first book in her Out on a Limb series. There's 2 books currently out, and I bought this book because July is National Disability Pride Month, and both of our main characters here have disabilities. One has a limb difference and the other, well, they both have limb differences, but one is an amputee and then one has a limb difference on their hand. So I figured I'd get to this, and I was like, I'm gonna read it in July, and I haven't, but it's pretty high up on my TBR, so I'm hoping to get to it very soon. On the back here says, a hot one-night stand and an unexpected pregnancy lead a young woman to someone she can depend on. From the viral TikTok author of Next of Kin and Next to You. Excited about that one. Faithbreaker by Hannah Kaner. This is the 3rd book in the Fallen Gods trilogy. It is a fantasy series. I reread Godbreaker on audio earlier this year, and the 3rd book just came out in paperback, so I want to get to the 2nd and to the 3rd. I'm not going to read the back because that'll give spoilers, but it is a really amazing trilogy, and Godkiller is the first book, and it basically follows 4 different POVs. We have Kissin, who is a kind of rogue, very intense character, and she is a god killer, so her job is to kill gods that are still around the kingdom because it is no longer allowed to have gods. And then you also follow Inara, who is a young girl, who is a noble girl, a princess, and she is trying to find somebody to help her get this god, who isn't one of our other characters. His name is Sketty Seth. She calls him Sketty. He is a minor god. He is a rabbit-winged creature. This is actually him here on the cover. He and Inara are inexplicably linked, and if they go too far from each other physically, they start to become in pain. So they are somehow connected, and they don't know why. So Inara and Sketty are both trying to find ways to break apart from each other. And then our final character is Elogast, or Elo as they call him, and he is a knight of the kingdom. Well, a former knight of the kingdom. He is now turned into a baker, which is really cute. And he follows both Sketty, Inara, and Kissin on their journey. He kind of has a slightly different plot line that goes along in the story, but it kind of interconnects. So the 4 of them are going on a quest to find out how to get rid of Sketty and Inara's connection. But Crash Test by Amy James. This one's great because, I mean, I bought it, but I've already read it. My review is on Goodreads, and Storygraph, and my Instagram, which I will link down below. That gives a much more succinct review of this, but it's basically a contemporary F1 racing LGBTQ plus romance. It follows our 2 male main characters, Travis and Jacob. Travis is an F1 racer and Jacob is an F2 racer, and it just follows their relationship. It is kind of a second chance romance to some degree, but the one thing that was really unique about this story was that they were already together when the book started. Highly recommend. I gave it 4.5 stars. Was The Dead Romantics by Ashley Poston. This was her debut novel. If you hear someone or see someone coming on screen, that's Rascal. Oh, there's his little ears. I gave him a treat so he'd be distracted, and he already ate it in 5 minutes. So he sometimes comes here to say hello, don't you? Yes, you do. Anyway, this is The Dead Romantics by Ashley Poston. She always has a lot of magical realism in all of her books. I've read The 7-Year Slip, and I gave it 4.5 stars, so I'm really looking forward to starting this one. And it says, romance is dead, but this isn't what she had in mind. Florence Day is the ghostwriter for one of the most prolific romance authors in the industry, and she has a problem. After a terrible breakup, she no longer believes in love. It's as good as dead. When her new editor, a too handsome mountain of a man, won't give her an extension on her book deadline, Florence prepares to kiss her career goodbye. But then she gets a phone call she never wanted to receive, and she must return home for the first time in a decade to help her family bury her beloved father. So I'm going to read there. I I'm really excited about this one because I feel like I've heard a lot of people talk about it and give it a lot of praise, this and 7 Year Slip. So, Releasing 10 by Chloe Walsh, the Ombre Sprayed Edition. And I'm going to gripe a little bit here at first. So, Bloom has decided to republish these as adult, which it should have been published as adult in the first place, even though it follows teen characters, or at least new adult. This is definitely not young adult. I think it's appropriate for older young adults, like late teens, but early teens, I don't think it's appropriate. So it should have been adult all along. But they're re-releasing them as adult with similar covers to this, but there's like this dark cover, but black spines, and then the edges are going to be sprayed. But there's 2 different editions of these new editions. Ones are like white covers with kind of a new sprayed like design like this, and solid blocking sprayed edges with each of the characters' names on it, which I do like that. And I'll insert those 2 options here. And then the other one, as you can see, black spine, but ombre sprayed edges with the names. But they're not releasing any of the other newer books in the series in these editions. So now I have all 6 in these editions, and it'll never be a complete set. And I want the new ones, of course, because... Of course I do. Because I want a whole set to match. So that is really annoying. And I had just gotten this from Amazon because I couldn't find it in any stores already because the Ombre was already out in all stores, so I bought it on Amazon. But this is book 6 in the Boys of Tommen series by Chloe Walsh. It is a YA, but now going to be adult, contemporary romance series following all of these high school characters. There's typically 2 books for each character. This is the most recent release that Chloe has done, and I love them because of the flap. Stunning. But all I can tell you is that this follows our characters Lizzie and Huey. And Lizzie is one of the girls in the friend group, and then Huey is another one of the rugby players, because this does take place in Ireland at a local high school. So, Raven Wells by Bailey Hannah. I got this at Barnes & Noble because there was a buy one, get one 50% off romance, all romance sale, which is like unheard of for Barnes. So I was like, oh, I want to try another cowboy romance author. She just got traditionally published, so we have these new covers, and I actually really like them because they've got the guy on the cover, but it's not like cringy like most covers. So this one says, a city girl fleeing an abusive marriage suddenly finds herself working on a cattle ranch with a sexy but grumpy rancher as her boss in this spicy cowboy romance from the author of Seeing Red and Change of Heart. I thought this was the first book, unless that's a different series. Okay, no, I think it is the first book. They just worded it weird. And it is so fun because I feel like this author has kind of taken a step in the direction of Elsie Silver because she is a Canadian romance author. It says, Bailey Hannah is a Canadian romance author with a passion for strong heroines and rugged men who aren't afraid to love their women hard. Born and raised in small-town British Columbia, you can count on a touch of rural Canadian flair, dirt roads, rodeos, and ketchup chips in her stories. So, I'm really excited about this one. I feel like it'll have some Elsie Silver-esque ideas and stuff, but they're quite a bit shorter, so they'll probably be a little bit quicker. But this is Until Next Summer by Allie Brady. This was the one that I got, and I bought this one instead of their new book, Battle of the Bookstores, because it was 10% off at my local indie bookstore because it had summer in the title. So it says, 2 former best friends each find love at an adults-only summer camp in this contemporary romance that proves once a camp person, always a camp person. And I'm so excited. An adult summer camp sounds like a blast, and I would love to go to one. Double Apex by Josie Juniper. And I've never heard of this author, but after reading Crash Test, I was like, I need to read more F1 racing romances. Now this is between FMC and MMC, but Josie Juniper just looks like a really fun person. Like, look at her cool blue hair. Like, I wish I could pull that off. So it says, an engineer and a cocky race car driver go head-to-head in the spicy Formula One romance for fans of Drive to Survive and Hannah Grace. Never read Hannah Grace, don't know what Drive to Survive is. I'm assuming it's a racing show. It says, Phaedra Morgan is one of the best race engineers in Formula One. She's a math prodigy with dazzling skill, cutting wit, and no patience for matters of the heart. course, her job would be a lot easier if she didn't keep butting heads with her team's cocky and infuriatingly hot new driver. Cosmin Ardeline is intense and committed, but as famous for his off-track romantic exploits as his on-track wizardry. Yet his devil-may-care facade conceals a haunted past. When the pair strikes up a secret and thrillingly forbidden arrangement to improve their communication and bond of trust, the heat of their attraction turns to something more. First of all, Phaedra and Cosmin? Like, those are cool names. Only, like, book names, though, like, right? Like, I couldn't imagine what I would do if I met someone with those names. But I'm excited to read this one. And I also love that, like, the girl is, like, the engineer and, like, probably, like, fixes the cars and stuff. I think that's really cool. Unloved by Peyton Corinne. This is the second book in her Interconnected Standalone series. The first book is called Unsteady. I just bought Unsteady and Unloved a couple days after each other. They were just in June and July, so I included this in the July one. And I don't want to give away anything because it is I guess it's a sequel, but it says they would be so easy to love, but they both feel unlovable. It follows our characters named Matt, Freddie, Frederick, and then our female main character is Ro Sheriff. So, looks like Matt or Freddie, is the left winger for the Waterfell Wolves hockey team. And Ro Sheriff is a hopeless romantic with terrible luck and love, and she's Freddie's new tutor. Okay, so this looks like it takes place like in a college, which I did not know. Except, yeah, Freddie has an NHL contract upon graduation, so these are a college sports romance. Thrashers by Julie Soto. This is her YA thriller debut. And it works out in the end because it's printed, but it is signed. Even if it is a printing, I will take it. So I also have already read this book, so score for me. I leave my review on Goodreads Storygraph and my Instagram, so you can check it out there. The Thrashers follows a group of teenage friends who are part of this group called the Thrashers, and basically their leader is a high school boy whose name is Zach Thrasher, so that is his last name. And they're like a really big popular group, but they were also dealing with the effects of one of their other group members who passed away the year before. They go into their senior year of high school, and it is basically following their lives. There is a small little romance subplot in here, which was really nice, but I listened to it on audio, and I just flew through it. I mean, it's not that long, but I read it in a day and a half, and I don't think I've ever given a thriller 5 stars. Like, I gave this 5 stars, a YA thriller. Like, I am being absolutely surprised by everything that I am reading this year. The things that I think I'll love, I'm like, and the things that I'm like, I don't know if I'll love, I'm like, love it. So, please pick this up, as well as any of Julie's books. I've also read one of her contemporary romances, Not Another Love Song, which I also gave 5 stars. So, please pick this up. Then I got Deep Cuts by Holly Brickley. I was avoiding buying this one for forever, and I was like, oh, I should just get it from my library, and then I caved and I bought it. It's a book about music. I'm an undergrad in music. How could I not love this? Although, it is a little bit more literary fiction leaning than I thought it was, so we're gonna see. But it says, it's a Friday night in a campus bar in Berkeley, fall of 2000, and Percy Marks is pontificating about music again. Hall & Oates is on the jukebox, and Percy, who has no talent for music, just lots of opinions about it, can't stop herself from overanalyzing the song, indulging what she knows to be her most annoying habit. But something is different tonight. The guy beside her at the bar, fellow student Joe Morrow, is a songwriter, and he could listen to Percy talk all night. So it's got like a romance, but it's all about music, and I'm really intrigued. I'm excited to get to it. I got A Fate, Forge, and Fire by Hazel McBride. I just love this cover. It's stunning. It's the first book in a new Romantasy series, and I don't know if the Romantasy series has an actual name or not, but I've just been hearing a lot of buzz about this book, and I wanted to see for myself. I've heard a lot of people really loving it, but also a lot of people giving it just kind of a mid 3.5, so I'm hoping I love it because I want to keep this stunning book on my shelves. It says, once a territory built on matriarchal rule and values, Tir Taine has grown frail from a long line of fruitless kings and male heirs. the most recent of which have governed under the influence of the True Religion, an oppressive group who have steadily poisoned the region with their anti-magic teachings. Born to rule and blessed by fire, Ymira has begrudgingly lived in hiding rather than risk her life in court, waiting in anticipation for the current king's death so she can bond to his dragon, claim her throne, and protect her people. But when the king dies and Ymira is ready to take what is rightfully hers, her ambitious plan is foiled and she is thrust into a game of vicious politics and plots. Her biggest adversary is Prince Fiorian, a dragon rider and one of the most powerful fire wielders in the territory. Cold, arrogant, and blindly supportive of his corrupt family, he is everything Ymira despises. But as chaos engulfs the court, they find themselves reluctantly entwined, forced to forge an uneasy alliance, one that quickly unites into something more dangerous than either of them expected. So, enemies to lovers, you know, they fall. It's a very typical plotline, but it's popular for a reason. So, the fourth book in the Lore Olympus series by Rachel Smythe. I have already read this one. I just needed to get the Barnes & Noble exclusive edition because I, for some reason, had a random mix of those editions and not. So I'm just trying to build up the ones that I've missed. This is a fantasy romance graphic novel series with just really beautiful art. It's very colorful and vibrant. It is a retelling of Persephone and Hades and their love story. Then I picked this up from another local indie that is in Milwaukee called Thirst Books, and it is Lady of Darkness by Melissa K. Rorick. It's book 1 in the Lady of Darkness series. And what was really cool is I didn't realize that like the indie covers were still in print, but she had them all, and I just think that they're very simple, but I really love them. So it says, owned by a ruthless assassin lord, Scarlet Monroe and her 2 sisters have been trained since they were children to torture and take life. They are the most feared trio on the continent, but they are also wild and unpredictable. A tragic night has Scarlet finding herself locked away in a noble's household, trapped and forgotten until she is ready to fall in line. Until the day she is presented with a job. If she completes the assignment, her payment will be something she has coveted for 10 years. Revenge against the Fae Fire Prince who brutally killed her mother. Is she willing to sacrifice her ideals for retribution? And there's a little bit more synopsis there, but I want to go into this kind of blind. I've seen so many people rave about this series and this author, and so I was like, it's about time that I get to it. And the indie edition is floppy. And if I like it, I can go back to that bookstore and support them and get the rest in the series. Strange Pictures and Strange Houses by Yuketsu, and they're really cool. This is the first one, and this is the second one. So they are very immersive, and they have like photos and like really interesting like images thrown in, and you basically kind of have to like solve it as you go. And that is the same with Strange Houses. It has like floor plans and images, and it is just really interesting. I'm not really gonna say much about them because I want to go in completely blind. It's originally 2 Japanese novels, so they were obviously translated. But the funny thing is, the author Yuketsu, their author photo is literally this. Like, how scary is that? Like, it fits the vibe. But it says, Yuketsu is an enigmatic presence on YouTube and an author specializing in horror and mystery. He always appears in videos wearing a white mask and black body stocking with his voice digitally distorted. His true identity is unknown. Like, he does YouTube videos, so you can, like, find him on here, and he always wears this. I mean, if you still want to keep your anonymity and be famous, he knows what's up. So, then this one, I've already read it. It is Reckless by Elsie Silver, but it is the mirrored edition with the cowboy boots and the baby cowboy boots. And I was able to get this for like $40 off Pango, which is a steal for this edition. It's hard to find them under $100. And usually it's even more than $200, so I just snagged it. Really, really. This is the Fairy Loot edition with a whole brand new cover, but still that kind of navy blue design. And then I love like the flowers and like the roots at the bottom. And then these are the sprayed edges, and the top is just black. But then, oh, I've also got the little card. I'm going to quickly take the dust jacket off. And of course, they have the original kind of colorway, but this is a little bit more pink. And then this is the Naked hardcover, the gold foiling. I love that. And the back there. And this one has amazing end pages. Two of our little vampire girlies. And then the other end is the more modern with our other vampire girlies. I thought it was really cool to do two different timelines there. But even like the front part has like this really beautiful like design. And it is a letter that is signed as well. It follows, first of all, 3 different timelines. They have it listed here on the dust jacket. Follows 1532 Santo Domingo de la Calzada, and we follow Maria. And then it follows 1827 London, following Charlotte, and then 2019 Boston, following Alice. It says, this is a story about hunger. This is a story about love. This is a story about rage. This is a story about life, how it ends, and how it starts. Then for the Fairy Romantasy book, I'm so excited. For some reason I knew what this one was and not the other, so that was silly. But it is Rose in Chains by Julie Soto. This is a completely brand new redone cover. And it's got the beautiful roses at the silver foiling. This is obviously a, I think is it a Beauty and the Beast, or is it Snow White? We'll find out. Anyway, here is the cover, and look at the little fox guy. He's so cute. And I feel like this one's a little different for Prelude because I don't usually do these cooler tones. Black sprayed edges at the top, and then the rose sprayed edges in the chains. Our little card. And it has the reversible dust jacket here. And then it has the Naked hardcover. And this is a Draco and Hermione, originally a Draco and Hermione fan fiction, although I do know that they kind of went through and changed a lot of like the references in there just because of the harmful IP and issue with J.K. Rowling. So I believe what is just left of it is more like the artwork. I'm not 100% sure, but that's what I've heard. And then you've got the little back with the red thorns. And then you've got the end papers, which has her signed card here. And it's got them both here. And I love like the red leaves. And then this end page with like the red floral detail and all the oh, it's just so pretty. I never know what to say when I show these because I'm just like, it's pretty. Yeah. And it's nice because we have this signed part, but then there is also a signed tip-in letter from Julie. Let's see if there's anything else. It does have content warnings at the beginning, which is great. And a really pretty map, which I'm sure is in the original edition as well. Oh, I haven't even looked. A family tree. I love a family tree. And then these beautiful artwork for part 1. And then also these really pretty like wolf, I don't know what these are called at the front of the page, but it's pretty and I love it so much. I shouldn't have bought these, and I did. There was an unexpected sale that I didn't realize was occurring on Dark and Kirky's website. And it is the Gold Rush Ranch series. And I love that it has the numbers of the series on there. And these are the edges of all 4. Kind of like these different colored paisley designs. Because horses and cowboys, but they have like these really cool like carousel horses on there. And then of course all of the stunning foiled edges, which it makes it even a little hard to see. But each of them have that, but just in a different colorway. Then you have the kind of green and gold one, purpley pink. And I was trying to decide like which one was my favorite. And I think maybe the gold and then like the pink one are my favorite. Them come with a ribbon bookmark that matches the foiling, which is nice. I don't know if I'll ever read these editions, but I've got them if I do. And end pages here. We've got Vaughn right there, and we've got Billy there. And I like that one end page shows the characters and the other one showcases like the world. And I love the watercolor painting of it. I just think, of course, each of these ones are signed by Elsie as well. And each of the chapter title pages have like these hand-drawn artwork. And then we have one for Vaughn. A photo finish. Got Violet here, which is the Eaton sister, and her male main character, which I can't remember his name. I haven't read this one yet. And then there is our watercolor erasing background. Then we have the front runner. And I believe this is Mira and Stefan, if I remember correctly. Got a little pub moment here. A false start. Our two main characters right here. I really love this page. It's stunning. With our little cabin. And that is all that I've got today. Too many books, but they're all beautiful and I'm all really excited to read them. And card's not by me, but if it was, I'd be like, here, take it. Take it away from me. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and hopefully you won't see me in August for a book haul. Although you will, because it's my birthday. So maybe I won't be buying the books, but I know for sure my fiance will be buying me books for my birthday. So you'll see those, but they'll be gifted, so it'll be different. Cool. Okay. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you in my next video soon.